The room went quiet after my mother said it. Not dramatic quiet, the kind that sinks into your bones and stays there. "Your sister has a future," she scoffed, arms crossed like a verdict had already been signed. "You're not worth it." I watched my sister's phone light up on the kitchen counter, a soft buzz, a smile she didn't bother hiding. Full tuition payment confirmed. She met my eyes and smirked. "Spending money on you would be a waste." I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I stood up, went to my room, and packed a single bag. They thought that was the end of me. It wasn't. I wasn't always the expendable one. There was a time when my parents bragged about me to strangers, when report cards were pinned to the fridge, when my dad used to say I was the reliable one, the safe bet. Then my sister found her talent, loud, flashy, easy to praise. She became the investment. I became the afterthought. Not useless, just optional. I learned early that love in our house came with conditions. Meet them, and you were rewarded. Miss them, and you were invisible. College was supposed to be my way out. I worked for it. Top grades, recommendations, acceptance letters folded carefully in my drawer like tickets to a better life. I thought effort mattered. That night, I learned it didn't. The signs had been there long before the kitchen scene. Bank statements left open, whispered conversations that stopped when I entered the room. My mom's favorite phrase, "We have to prioritize." I prioritized hope. They prioritized her. When the confirmation text came through, something in me went still. Not broken, not angry, focused, like a switch flipped from hurt to calculation. I realized then that begging wouldn't save me, but patience might. I left without a goodbye. I let them believe I was running, impulsive, emotional, defeated. In reality, I was executing phase 1, disappearance. I moved into a cheap sublet near campus, applied for every scholarship they never told me about, took on work study, then 2 part-time jobs, slept 4 hours a night, ate noodles, smiled through exhaustion. I didn't post about it. I didn't ask for help. I let them forget me. Silence is useful when people underestimate you. While my sister enjoyed paid tuition and weekend spending money, I built something quieter: credit, references, a reputation for reliability. Professors noticed, employers noticed, the kind of people who actually mattered noticed. And I documented everything. Every text where my parents dismissed me, every email confirming they paid nothing, every financial record showing favoritism. Not for revenge, for leverage. Because families like mine don't collapse from emotion, they collapse from consequences. 2 years later, my father called. He sounded tired, older. The house was hard to maintain, money was tight. My sister was finding herself, which apparently required expensive mistakes. They needed help. I let the silence stretch before answering. Then I said, yes. I returned calm, successful-looking, controlled. I didn't mention scholarships or promotions. I let them assume I'd barely survived. They invited me to dinner like nothing had happened. That's when I slid the folder across the table. No yelling, no accusations, just facts. I explained how financial aid offices viewed documented parental refusal, how dependency status could be challenged, how tax benefits they claimed for me were invalid, how audits worked, how quickly assistance could disappear when inconsistencies surfaced. My mother's face drained first. My father followed. My sister laughed until she realized no one else was. Her funding vanished within months. So did their tax breaks. So did the illusion that I was disposable. They called it betrayal. I called it accuracy. They asked why I hadn't told them I was struggling. I asked why they never cared. That ended the conversation. The regret didn't arrive dramatically. It crept in. When my sister had to transfer, when my parents downsized, when holidays got quieter, when they realized the child they invested in didn't return dividends. They tried to reconnect, apologize, rewrite history. I listened once, then I stood up. "I learned something from you," I said. "Money goes where value is seen." And I left. I don't feel guilt, I feel clarity. They taught me exactly how love worked in that house. I just applied the lesson better. Some people think revenge is loud, explosive, messy. They're wrong. The best revenge is letting people face the cost of who they chose to be, while you quietly become everything they said you wouldn't.